Throughout time, people across the world told each other tales of how they came to be, of heroes and monsters, romance and tragedy, death and rebirth. Mythology helped shape the ancient world, explaining the unexplainable. This is Mythology Unleashed. Among the vast number of deities present in Egyptian mythology, few carry the power and cultural significance of Osiris, the first pharaoh, the god of the dead and the afterlife, ruler of Duat, husband to Isis and father of Horus. Osiris, also called Ashir, was the eldest child of the earth entity Geb and the sky goddess Nut. His siblings are Set, the cruel and violent god of chaos and disorder, and the goddesses Nephthys and Isis, the latter of whom he fell in love with and made her his wife and queen. In ancient Egyptian art, Osiris is normally portrayed as a bearded king wrapped in linen like a mummy. He is often depicted with black or green skin, symbolizing the fertile mud of the Nile and regeneration as a whole. Atop his head is the crown of Upper Egypt, with an amulet about his neck, and in his hands he holds a crook and a flail, symbols of his powers as god of fertility and the underworld. The most famous tale concerning Osiris centers on his murder at the hands of his brother Set, and his subsequent becoming the god of the dead. As the firstborn of Geb and Nut, Osiris had ruled Egypt for countless ages, and his rule was a prosperous one. Through Osiris, humanity learned the art of agriculture and gave them laws and structure through which civilization was birthed. It is said that he even ventured off to far-off nations and shared his knowledge abroad. Osiris's influence and popularity amongst humanity planted seeds of hatred within his brother Set. Set coveted the throne of Osiris. He coveted Isis. He coveted the power over the living world, and he desired to take it from his brother. Mercilessly, Set slew Osiris and scattered his corpse to the far reaches of Egypt. Set then seized control of his brother's throne, and a reign of darkness and chaos reigned over Egypt. None of the other gods and goddesses had the courage to face him. Even mighty Ra was too mournful to take action. Grieving over the loss of her husband, Isis, with the help of Nephthys, scoured every inch of the known world, looking for Osiris. After what seemed a lifetime of searching, Isis at last gathered Osiris's remains and pieced him back together. Through magic, the gods were able to revive Osiris and bring him back to life, but for only one night, as nothing that had died, even a god, could remain in the land of the living. So Osiris and Isis spent their final night together in warm embrace. And Osiris impregnated his wife with their son, the falcon god Horus, who would one day avenge Osiris and battle Set for the throne. With his final day in the mortal realm ended, Osiris made his way to Duat, where he became the Lord of the Dead. There with Anubis, he stands in judgment over the souls of the deceased. Osiris was considered the first king of Egypt who would establish the cultural values all later pharaohs were sworn to uphold. When Set murdered the ruling monarch, the country plunged into anarchy, and order was only restored with the victory of Horus over Set. The rulers of Egypt would identify with Horus during life, and with Osiris in death. Through the hope of new life after death, Osiris began to be associated with the cycles observed in nature, in particular vegetation and the annual flooding of the Nile. Along with Ra, Osiris influenced the culture of ancient Egypt, more so than any other deity in the pantheon.